What's good, y'all? This your boy Blak G 92. Now, before I get started with this reaction video, this new reaction video, by the way, I'd like to get a couple things off my chest. First thing, some positives. I'm going to say a happy birthday to my little brother Zach. Just turned 31 today. So, for those out there, I might post his Instagram page under my little description box below, so you can show him some everyday love and such. And also give a birthday shout out to my cousin Angela. Her birthday was just yesterday. Spoke to both of them today, not today, but spoke to both of them. I spoke to Angela yesterday, and I spoke to Zach like not an hour, but 2 hours ago. So might call me on today. So they're gonna post like their Instagram pages so you can show them everyday love and all that. And also like to say another positive, also like to mention as well. Damn, I wish I would have been the live stream. And what's another positive? It was something else I forgot to say, but never mind. It may come back to me. But a little slight negative, the job is, I will say they're on some bullshit, but they're starting to get back onto it, because there was a little hang up with me, how I, handled more so being asked to do something else again. It may be a little like hiccup about that, but how I was framed, it seemed like I was just the worst person ever. I was like, hold up, chill out, I've been good. So it's all going through my mind right after I left the office and all that, after a few other things, and I didn't even explain to that. It was like, okay, chill out. I'm thinking, okay, chill. I mean, you want me to be a robot and not have no type of reaction, nothing? Because hell, it's fucking hot outside. Can't expect to just just ask to do something over. And plus, it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? At least to me. And plus, I might ask my coworker when I get back to work tomorrow. And I said, I'll try to, maybe not show as much attitude or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? I'll do my part. I'm still not good enough, then it's definitely going to still the process of leaving that shit. So, that's it. That's one thing I'm going to say about that. But anyway, I got to react. Today, I'm going to react to another Wrestle with Andy video titled Refreshed Gimmicks That Saved Careers. Shout out to Jacoby for the reaction request. I'm gonna do like probably the first 11 minutes of this video, and then split off and do another 11 minutes, another remaining 9 to 10 minutes of the video tomorrow or Friday, depends how it goes. And I'm gonna see what's looking like in about 3, 2, 1.
Sometimes a great wrestler can get caught in a gimmick that is no longer working for them. It's happened to some of the best performers out there, and whenever this does happen, it usually means a character refresh is required. Sure, not everyone's able to achieve that refresh, but for those who do, they find them turning into an absolute career saver. But what are the biggest examples of this in wrestling history? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be looking at right now, starting with the head of the table himself, Roman Reigns. Yes, it's long been a talking point amongst wrestling fans that post-breakup of the Shield, Roman Reigns just wasn't working out as the top guy WWE wanted him to be. No, with a white-meat babyface character that few fans believed in, combined with a push that felt forced at times, it felt like he could end up turning into this generation's version of Lex Luger. But that wouldn't be the case forever, because it was in 2020, after taking time away to look after his health at the start of the worldwide shutdown, that the big dog allegedly made some demands to his boss about a potential return.
Let me see something. Something's going on with the screen right here. Let me go ahead and pause it real quick, and then go ahead and do a little something real quick. Let me see, screen recording. Damn, I didn't even have his full screen. I just clicked on the bitch. But anyway, I guess I was just still kind of hot about the whole little hiccup right there. Which, like I said, I've already said, I admit, okay, maybe I could work better as far as responding, but it wasn't that bad. But anyway, let's get back to it.
And those demands were no more babyface character. No, instead he wanted to become the biggest heel out there. Obviously then, Reigns got his way here, as when he did return, he'd immediately morph into the head of the table, megalomaniacal leader of the bloodline. And that would see him suddenly get over with fans in a big way. So over would he get, in fact, he'd truly become the centerpiece of WWE television for the first time, as he embarked upon a 1,316-day long run as undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Hell, throughout the early...
We got our first golf trip. Ryan Fitzpatrick is coming up to hang with us. We're doing spring training with your team and our big match.
Hell, throughout the early 2020s, there was no single figure in WWE who was more important to the show. And this has gotten him to a level now where he's pretty much the modern day version of John Cena at his peak. Even now that his title reign is over, Reigns remains one of the top, if not the top guy on SmackDown, right up there alongside Cody Rhodes. And that's not a situation which looks like it's going to change anytime soon. Now, as far as character refreshes go, this has to be one of the most successful of all time. But Roman Reigns isn't the only big star of the PG era who found himself undergoing a career revival after changing things up. No, the exact same thing can be said about our next subject, the woman who went from Irish dancer to lass kicker, Becky Lynch. Yes, Becky Lynch's original character when she first debuted back in 2013 was pretty bad, to say the least.
Oh,
Come on
man.
now, the Limerick native came jigging out to the ring like a cast member of Riverdance. Yes, the idea here was that Becky would play up to her Irish heritage by decking herself out in green and dancing her way towards freedom pre-match. The only thing it was missing, in fact, was a leprechaun by her side. Needless to say then, when this character was put out to pasture soon thereafter and Lynch was reborn as the lass kicker, it all felt a lot more enjoyable to watch. But then how couldn't it? Because in the lass kicker you had someone who was a serious fighter, a wrestler who you believed could win a match and even earn a title, something which Becky eventually did after arriving on SmackDown a few years later. And once she did that, it was off to the races as she became one of the most beloved babyfaces in WWE. Sure, this wouldn't be her peak. No, her peak would come in 2018 when she transformed again, this time into The Man, a PG-era WWE Women's Division equivalent of Stone Cold Steve Austin. But we might never have gotten to that point if she didn't transform into the lass kicker first, and in the process, give us a taster of what she could really be when she wasn't being asked to do a dance mid-match. Seriously now, think about how jarring it would have felt if Becky came out one day doing a Kaylee dance, and then the next day decked in black leather. It would have been whiplash-inducing, to say the least.
It would have.
So we're glad we got that middle period in which she was able to truly find herself. As she's no doubt happy she got this last kicker run too, because as it stands today, Becky Lynch is still one of the top stars in all of women's wrestling. But what about another woman? This time over in AEW. Someone who went from 80s rocker to timeless movie star, Toni Storm. That's right, if you've been watching AEW over the last year or two, then you'll know all too well that timeless Toni Storm is one of the best things going in the promotion. But things weren't always at quite this level for the New Zealand-born star. No, back in the early 2020s, following an unsuccessful run on the WWE main roster, she was considering retiring altogether. Even when she ended up signing with AEW in March of 2022, it wasn't as if Toni was a made woman on screen quite yet. No, while she would find success, even winning the AEW Women's World title on 2 occasions, her gimmick was not great. Mostly because she was a part of the Outcasts trio made up of her, Saraya, and Ruby Soho, something which never really got over with fans. But then something happened. After losing the world title to Hikaru Shida in the summer of that year, Toni Storm started to undergo a mental break of sorts, and this led to her coming to the belief that she was an old Hollywood movie starlet in the vein of a Grace Kelly or a Katharine Hepburn. Obviously then, this could have been a...
Very interesting storyline indeed. Now might be interested in seeing her matches probably, so probably on YouTube or something. Probably on my own time, because, you know, copyrights and such.
Disaster if done badly, but Toni bought into it so much and proved to be so genuinely funny in the role, it became a huge hit and turned her into the biggest star in that company's women's division. So big a star would she become, in fact, she's since gone on to hold the AEW Women's World title 2 more times, all while having one of the best storylines that promotion has produced alongside Mariah May. And it all happened because she decided to forget about the Motley Crue-inspired gimmick she was doing before, and instead go with something that was a lot more timeless. But let's head back over to WWE for our next subjects. Who are we talking about here? Why, The New Day, of course. That's right, while The New Day were by no means failing with their original gimmick of 3 pop culture aficionados who just so happened to be legitimate best friends, they were starting to get a little stale by the time 2025 came around. Yes, by that point it was clear that there was little juice left in the squeeze for the incarnation they were in at the time, with this being why everyone involved realized that it was time for a refresh. The only question was, what would this refresh entail, especially as Big E was still on the injury shelf, with there being no timetable for his return to the ring? Well, as it turned out, the answer to that question was a heel turn which would use Big E's injury in the sense that both Kofi and Xavier would blame him for abandoning them, as they, from there, proceeded to, at least temporarily, kick him out of the group. Understandably then, this was a move which drew nuclear heat from fans at the time, and it made the New Day instantly feel fresh in a way which they hadn't been for years. So fresh would they feel, in fact, when they won the tag team titles for a 13th time soon thereafter, it didn't feel like wheel spinning. No, it felt like they had something new to offer now, and that's exactly why they remain champions as of the time of this video's recording, with them still going strong on account of the refresh their switch to the dark side has afforded them. Sure, we don't imagine this villainous run will last forever. No, the likelihood is that before all is said and done, the New Day will be babyfaces again, possibly after Big E is one day cleared to return to action once more. For now, though, they're going to continue to see how far they can go with this modern incarnation they've found themselves in. And they're not the only stable on WWE TV who's trying...
Okay, seems like it's working. It sounds like it's working for them. And another... let me go ahead and write some of these names down. Let's see. So then I can remember who to look out for if I ever come across WWE or the other wrestling channel if I decide
the most out of a recent rebrand right now, as the same could be said for our next subjects over on SmackDown, the Wyatt Six. Now, to tell the story of the Wyatt Six, we first have to tell the story of Bray Wyatt, one of the more popular characters of PG-era WWE, who tragically passed away in 2023 at the age of 36. Before his passing, though, he was working a gimmick where he was being haunted by a mysterious figure known as Uncle Howdy, a figure who was being played by his real-life brother, Bo Dallas. But before the full mysteries of the storyline could be unveiled, his life would come to an untimely end. So, looking to honor his fallen sibling then, in the months after Bray's death, Bo Dallas began making plans about how to keep Uncle Howdy going as a character. And this eventually led to both him and the WWE creative team creating the Wyatt Six. Who were the Wyatt Six? Well, they were a collective of people who felt like they'd been underappreciated before, and were now joining together in tribute to the ultimate underappreciated wrestler of his time. Obviously then, this meant a gimmick rebrand for everyone involved. But that was a good thing because it wasn't like any of the members were setting the world on fire prior to this. No, with Eric Rowan being out of a job, Dexter Lumis and Nikki Cross getting lost in the mid-card, and Joe Gacy floundering on NXT, each of these men and women were in desperate need of a lifeline. And this was something Bo Dallas, now working under the name of Uncle Howdy, was able to offer them, as on the June 17th, 2024 episode of Raw, they'd make an instant impact by laying waste to the gorilla position backstage. And though we've seen some ups and downs since this point, it finally now looks like everyone on the team is healthy and ready to go, with them currently staking their claim at taking the tag team titles over on SmackDown. Will they get these belts? Almost certainly at some point.
Hey. That's a strong possibility. I haven't seen no matches at all, but the storyline and how Wrestle with Andy's describing it, hey, that day may come close, and I'm already drawn into it.
And once that happens, they'll be able to say they did it in tribute to the fallen sixth member of their group, the one who only remains with us today in spirit. After that, well, who knows what'll happen after that. Maybe Bo Dallas will go after some singles gold, and maybe he'll even win this too. But what about another member of the Rotunda family who's also saved his career with a character change? Doesn't he deserve to be looked at in this video as well? Why, yes he does, and that's why our next subject is Mike Rotunda, the man who found greater success in WWF as IRS. Now, again, like with the New Day pre-heel turn, it wasn't like Mike Rotunda found no success during his early days. No, he actually did quite a lot, with him being a member of both the US Express and the Varsity Club at different points, and as a result, a two-time tag team champion in WWF. That said, in the 80s, there was only so far you were going to go in Vince McMahon's promotion if you didn't have a colorful gimmick. And this was why he realized he needed to come up with one as more and more time went on, and he started to slip back down the card. What would that gimmick eventually be? Well, it would be Irwin R. Shyster, or IRS for short. That's right, this one was a parody of an evil tax man, and it worked gangbusters because even now in 2025, more so than his runs as a varsity athlete, it's IRS which Rotunda is most closely associated with. But then why wouldn't it be, as it happened right when WWF was still in the midst of its golden era, one of the most popular mainstream periods the industry's ever seen. And it wasn't like Irwin R. Shyster was just some throwaway mid-card character here either. No, he'd get plenty of screen time alongside his tag team partner, Ted DiBiase. Yes, in one of...
Safe like repair.
Perfecting your swing commercials.
Nice shot, Dad. Safe like replace.
But replacing your windshield doesn't have to be. Get it fixed now and pay later with flexible payment options only at safelight.com.
Do you think this candle will cover up my friend's overpowering cologne?
Impossible. Hey, do you mind paying? All I have are nickels.
Not at all.
Do you have change for a nickel?
Unlimited 2% cash back. The Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card.
Yes, in one of the more obvious pairings in wrestling history, it was decided that the evil millionaire in the $1 Million Man and the evil tax man in IRS would make for a great heel duo as, let's be honest, who doesn't hate people like them?
Oh, yeah.
And that would push Mike Rotunda to a point of relevance where he'd win the tag team titles on 3 further occasions.
Okay.
Sure, by the time the mid-90s came around, the character would have run its course and he'd make the jump over to WCW instead to play the legally distinct VK Wall Street. But that wouldn't stop IRS from making periodic cameo returns in New York as the decades went on, something he continues to do to this day. As you can imagine then, this is something he's very glad for, as it's unlikely Mike Rotunda, one half of the US Express, would hold the same nostalgic interest for fans in 2025. And it's equally as unlikely he'd be getting calls to come in for things like Legends Night on Raw. Yes, Erwin R. Shyster was the best thing that ever happened to the St. Petersburg native, and he wasn't the only person from back in the day who had things completely turn around for them following a change of character. No, if we look at our next subject, we'll find a very similar story playing itself out. That's right, it's time for us to talk about Tommy Dreamer and his transformation into the innovator of violence.
Alright, we'll have a little pause right there. Yeah, this is another interesting documentary and such, and so it's showcasing how having a different, changing up gimmicks from something to something else can like really change a wrestler's career, and I find that very interesting and also informative to say the least. Let me see what people are saying in the comment section. What happened to the audio during the Brian Pullman segment? Interesting. The shot of Brian Pullman showing up and messing with the audio. You even wonder if it's real or not. Oh, someone's talking about the 13-minute mark. Let me watch the video. Okay. I'm going to have to keep on watching then in the next reaction video, in the second part, that is. But yeah, they keep these reaction requests coming for these documentaries and such, and what may have you. And also any sort of songs, music videos, countdowns, trailers of, say, movies, TV shows, whatever the case may be. Post them in the comment section, interviews, let me know in the comment section, let me know in there. And also be sure to hit that like button, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button as well. And also be sure to follow my social media accounts, which will be posted in the description box below. This your boy Blak G 92, about to sign off. Holla at your boy. Peace.